kicking up dust on a rick house floor. Charred oak whispers we can't ignore. Stories in the mash, fire in the grain. Raise up your glass, feel that bourbon flame. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the backwoods stills to tonight's big show. Every drop a story, every sip that's drowned. We're bourbon legends, let's throw it down. Let's throw it down. From Kentucky hills to the neon lights, we're talking small batch days and whiskey nights. Tasting the past in every pour. Gonna carve our names on the distiller's door. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the backwoods stills to tonight's big show. Every drop a story, every sip that's drowned. We're bourbon legends, let's throw it down. Let's throw it down. Raise 'em high, feel the fire. Clinking glasses, lifting higher. One more toast to the ones before and the legends we're making forevermore. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the rick house walls to your front row. Every drop a story, every sip a crown. We're bourbon legends, come gather round. Come gather round. Come gather round.
Hey, everybody, it's Thursday night, the first Thursday in November. Last week was the eve of Halloween. We're already into the Christmas season now. It goes by that fast. Folks, we got a hell of a good show tonight. Lots of giveaways, so we're going to get right to it. I'm going to bring in Roger Randall. Hello, Roger. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, everything's good. I heard sleigh bells earlier. Is that a premonition of things to come?
I'm telling you, at the stroke of midnight on the 31st, when you go into November 1st, boom, it's Christmas, buddy. And you know what? I've found out that I'm late. Not only did Alex from Red Barrel have a tree up before I did, but one of our guests tonight, Nick, he's already got 6 trees up.
Yeah, they've got me all beat. I guess
You
I'm going
know,
to be going in the attic this weekend.
It's hard when you are Christmas like me, and I have to go out and do these things. I don't have time to put up trees.
That's why you have Mrs. Claus.
I know I can't get her to put up a tree either. She's probably too busy watching this show than to putting up Christmas trees. But it's going to get done because on the 16th of November, which is, I believe, next Sunday, I have a big nephew and great niece party, and they all come over and they're all little and they like to look at all my little cool ornaments that's running around and stuff.
Hey, where's that other guy?
Who, that guy right there? He's down there.
Hey,
he's down there.
What? Huh?
What's
Oh,
going
sorry,
on?
I fell asleep again.
Chill.
Oh, jeez. We have to wake you up again.
I know it. I just can't help it. Something about this getting dark earlier makes me.
Oh, I'm telling you. For those people that don't know, we have a Discord page, and one of the features that really make you a legend is if you are on the chat. You know, we almost chat nearly every night, or somebody's in there, and when they fall asleep, everybody tries to screenshot it, and then we can upload it to the Asleep on Discord page. I'm guilty. Roger's guilty. Will was guilty last night, but he had his camera turned off so nobody could take.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
Then,
If you're going to fall asleep, have your camera off.
That's
yeah,
right.
but then Mike Brock kicked him out of Discord.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I don't
just for
understand.
falling
Mike
asleep.
Brock,
I got booted completely
he
out
got
of it.
booted.
Hey, what's that saying? You snooze, you lose. So I mean, I guess that's what happened.
Yeah, you're paid the penalty.
Hey, can
Yeah.
we start talking about serious stuff here? Because I want to bring both of these guests on, but we've got to do the paperwork first. We got to pay the bills here, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some news, and then we're going to bring them in. But first of all, I know you guys are very excited for this as well as I. I know we're going to be busting, our butts trying to find.
Whoa, this Michter's 20 year,
Yeah.
114.2 proof, deep vanilla and toffee. And I'm in on that right there.
I'm in on it. I mean, it's only $1,200. Look, Roger's over here waving. He wants in, and Roger can't get in because I have you on this segment.
That's
Will.
right. What we'll do is we'll get $1,200 from Roger and buy this bottle. What do you say, Craig?
Well, we were talking about last night if we could find a bottle of this caliber, and just everybody pitch in $100, and then we just split it between everybody, and everybody gets like a 1 ounce pour. I would be all in for this.
Yeah, that would be a pretty awesome thing to do, because then at least everybody gets an opportunity to try it that way, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to try to.
Whoa, now Craig's gone again.
Well,
hey, Roger,
see?
what's up?
It's magic. It's like,
Yeah.
woo.
Woo. What do you think about this Michter's 20 year?
Well,
that released December 1st?
I still think this is falling in line with my previous tasting notes when it gets around the fall time of the year and Christmas. Deep vanilla, toffee, chocolate, spice, fruit.
I mean, you can't beat it. Yeah.
It's Christmas in a bottle.
Absolutely.
So,
and maybe Santa will kick in the $1,200 and buy that for you for Christmas. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's up for it. I mean, 2,000 last year, maybe 1,400, 1,200 this year is nothing.
Yeah, I mean that's front pocket change for Santa. Oh, whoa!
Okay, so obviously technical difficulties, folks. Obviously, when I'm not on the stage, Roger can't hear me. So, anywho, yeah, I'm going to cut his butt off when he starts talking about me buying $2,000 bottles of King of Kentucky because I was drunk in the middle of day drinking.
I mean, that's part of being legendary, though, Craig.
I guess. All right, Will, I'm going to let you go for the next one. We're going to bring Roger in for this. All right. Okay, Roger.
Hey.
I was saying, y'all can't hear me when I'm not on stage, so we're going to flip flop back and forth.
That's
between
fine.
these news stories, and so we're going to.
Whoa, I'm back.
I just want to tell you folks one thing. Roger is the cause of this, and because Roger says Will's coming on tonight, and I had all these things set up, so I can't do 3 people at one time. So you're just going to have to blame Roger Randall on every time we flip-flop through here.
Excuses. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so let's talk about Von Payne. They just got through buying a building, a castle in Louisville.
My gosh, a castle that's got a little bit of artwork on it, it looks like.
Well, they're going to have a lot of work to do on this. This used to be the old Whiteside's Bakery on Louisville's West End. And this thing, I'm assuming it's still standing and the plane didn't take it out. It's a 60,000 square foot building that was built back in 1908.
And
they're going to call
trees
it
on the roof.
Yeah, they're going to call it the Castle.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't really care for Von Payne that much, but I would go through here and just check it out, see what it's all about.
I think it'll be interesting. It's going to be a few years. We got to remove the trees, got to get some of that cage off that other parapet from the castle. But
it was a slow news week in Bourbon, so I had to find any news stories I could.
So, boys and girls, when he switches slides, we don't know what's going to happen. So
no, I'm getting ready to switch one right now and see what happens there. Now I'm going to say goodbye to Roger, and I'm going to bring Will back in.
Bye-bye.
And now Will's in. And now Will's in. Hey, Will.
Yeah.
I want to tell you about chicken cock.
Okay, tell me about it.
Did you know that chickens really don't have cocks?
Okay. So then how did they get their name?
I guess from they go cock-a-doodle-doo, I guess.
Oh, maybe so.
I don't know.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's,
you can deep dive on that if you want to see how eggs are fertilized by roosters. But anyway, Chicken Cock has opened a new building in what they call Whiskey Row, but it's not actually Whiskey Row. It's a street or so over, but they're still calling it Whiskey Row. Can you believe that?
Well, I mean, if it's not actually Whiskey Row, how can you call it that?
Well, because back in the olden days, I'm glad you asked that question. Back in the old days, Whiskey Row also included not only Main Street, but it also included Market Street. And so this is on Market Street. So that is their claim to fame of being on Whiskey Row.
So they're on the historic Whiskey Row then.
Yes, that would even be a better marketing term for them. The historic Whiskey Row. Absolutely. All right, we're going to switch scenes here, and I'm going to say goodbye to you, and I'm going to say hello to Roger again. Hello, Roger.
You know, you did the whole story with chicken, you know what? And I didn't get to say that. So there we go.
I didn't say that either. I just said, did you know chickens don't have cocks?
Yeah.
Roosters might, but chickens don't.
Chickens don't.
Actually, roosters don't either, but that's a farming show, not a whiskey show.
Yeah, we've got the wrong show here tonight.
So something interesting is happening with our neighbors over in Memphis with Blue Note. They're going deep into Texas, Roger, deep in the heart of Texas. And do you see who is going to be their distributor?
Sorry. Ben E. Keith.
Ben E. Keith. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. They're using that to expand their portfolio's footprint, and that'll be a distribution piece for them.
I didn't realize that Ben E. Keith not only delivered frozen burritos, but now they do alcoholic beverages, I guess.
Yeah, they've expanded their bought a couple of, I think they bought a distributorship down there.
Oh, they could have. I didn't deep dive into this. So, all right. Hey, we're going to go into.
Hey, it's me again.
And Will's in, and now I come in.
Oh, hey, Craig, how you doing?
I feel like this is a marathon. I'm just trying to get through this so we can bring our guests on.
We should have made this a drinking game.
Ooh, we could. Hey, we still can.
Yeah.
You remember that one show that we did, and it's like if we said certain words, you were trying to get bingo. We should do that. So, all right, here's the deal, folks. Every time you hear the word still, as in a donut maker, a still, you have to take a shot. Okay.
Okay.
Still, S-T-I-L-L or S-T-E-A-L. Because if we said something about like someone is going to steal something, hell, drink too. I don't care.
Well, what about like the steel, the metal?
Stainless steel, yes, drink there.
Okay. Awesome.
All right. Jepta Creed is coming out with their series again of their red, white, and blue. It's using red corn, white corn, and guess what other color corn?
I think probably blue corn, but I couldn't.
Blue corn, that's right. And what's really cool about this time, what they're doing is there a portion of their proceeds is going to be given to Paws of War, and that's like a humane society type thing.
Okay.
And that's going to be released on a Saturday. November 8th.
I've not ever had any Jepta Creed, but I mean, I might be interested in trying that one.
Yeah, I don't believe it's distributed in Arkansas. I know you can get it up in Missouri, I believe in Tennessee. I don't know. You know, something that you guys can't see, but I find it quite amusing is in the background, I can see all the guests, and Roger is over there just having a hell of a time by himself. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but he's like jumping around, picking on his nose. He's wanting in. He's wanting in, so I think we should let him in.
Yeah, bring him on.
All right. Bye, Will.
Oh,
All right,
hey.
Roger. Roger gets in again. Hey, Roger, check out this barrel bourbon 12-year French oak that's releasing.
You know, it's interesting because I didn't think there was anything they hadn't done already, and they apparently haven't done a 12-year French oak. But the problem is they included a little.
Whoa! He said the word. He said they still.
Woo! All right, that's all you folks out there.
Yep,
I like the comments. I like the
attention.
comment in the thing from our previous story. Burritos and bourbon, what a combo! But yeah, this aged 12 years. It's in, of course, they use Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, and Wyoming juice in it. It's finished in these French oak barrels at 108.5 proof. Its finishing note is coffee cake, blueberries, and maraschino cherries. So we'll see.
Kind of like a fruit cake.
Yeah, but the MSRP is what kicks it because it breaks the $10 a year mark.
Yeah, barrel is not known to be one of the cheapest out there, but
no,
I don't have a whole lot of barrel. I have the what was a seagrass, which was an apricot type finish, but
yeah.
Okay, hey, I'm going to say goodbye to you, Roger, and I'm going to bring in Will one more time. Okay. Woo, Will.
Hey, how you
That
doing?
man Roger is long-winded. Hey,
He does. Yeah, he talks a lot.
we just left Heaven Hill with that Unity bottle, and now Heaven Hill is coming out with a 90th anniversary bottle.
Well, why didn't they do that while we were there so we could have bought that one too?
Because they want us to come back.
Well, okay, I can do that. Let's go. Let's go right now. Let's go to Heaven Hill and see their still again right now.
Can't do it.
Still,
do it.
I said still. You got a drink.
Still. I hate to tell you, but I'm faking shooting it because I'm drinking samples right now, and I got to save it for the show. But this is bottled at 107 proof, non-chill filtered, and it honors the patience, craft, and character that defines Heaven Hill. I like Heaven Hill products. I imagine this bottle, I didn't find the MSRP on it, but I bet it's going to be a couple of Benjamins at least. Yeah,
it is probably, limited 90th anniversary. Yeah, it's going to be up there.
I would imagine so. Okay. So here's what we're going to do, folks. I want to bring on some special guests from Nobletons Distilling House. We have the director of sales, no other than Mr. Nick Eckelkamp. And then we are very excited to have not anybody, but the body. Mr. Demetrius Kane, the owner, master distiller, wears a lot of hats and probably shouts out a lot of orders. Is that correct, Demetrius?
Yep, that is correct. Something like that.
Yeah.
And one thing that I would say is I wouldn't consider myself a master distiller. I've just been doing this for a long time. And so
so master distiller, that's quite the title that people have. Maybe you can help me out on this. Like, say a big operation like Heaven Hill or a Buffalo Trace. Let's just take Buffalo Trace, for instance. You got Harlan Wheatley. He doesn't really make the bourbon, right? He just kind of oversees and makes sure that everybody's doing their job. Is that correct?
I would assume, yeah.
I would say that master distiller is more than just somebody who's actually sitting there, pushing buttons and making White Dog come out of the still.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, got a drink.
This is what I love about live TV, guys, is because, we can just come up with this crap at the drop of a hat, and we're just going to get everybody trashed tonight. So anyway, welcome to the show, guys. We're glad to have you here. Do you guys ready to answer some questions?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You all have a pour, right? Everybody has a drink. Okay, just making sure, because I don't want everybody to be sitting there and going dry. So
I'll point out which ones we have. We've got
hey, Craig, real quick. I don't know if it's probably just my beautiful technology over here on my phone, but every time you add someone, I can't hear everybody else. So do you mind if I log in real quick and so I can hear everybody? So give me a sec, boys.
So Demetrius, we got the Day's End.
Oh,
batch.
Beautiful pour.
This was a single barrel from the wine and cheese place, and so you know this one. And then the other one we've got, which we'll try here in a little bit, is Grandma's Kitchen.
So that is one of the rarest bottles. That was the first single barrel we ever released.
Wow.
There you go, boys and girls. I've got it. I gave you all samples of it. And I
think
thank you.
A little bit of fun thing about, if you read the side of that bottle, the first time I tried that barrel was the first time I tried it after it properly aged was the day that my grandmother died. My grandmother and grandfather raised me. And that is probably one of these specialist bottles that is out there. And so it's a very special one.
I've actually had 2 bottles of it, and I'm on to the second one, and so I'll cherish it even a little bit more. And
it's a very special one. We always try to, all of our single barrels have a story on the side of them. All of our barrels carry names if they're a single barrel. So if it's a single barrel, they have a story that is associated with the farm. We farm everything, so we farm about 30,000 acres throughout the United States and Canada. We don't use it obviously all for whiskey. We also make flour and high grade grain products. But that's a really special one. So
you said you bottled that on your grandmother. She died the day that you guys barreled that.
So the day that the first time I tried that barrel after it had been aging for many, many, many years, I had pulled that barrel down. I tried it, and I was sitting there kind of going through my notes and everything, and my mom called me, and she was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that Grandma passed."
Wow.
And it was, we knew she was going through some health stuff, and we knew we were kind of getting down to the end of it. And so I just named that barrel Grandma's Kitchen. And then a few years later, when we were starting to select single barrels, I was like, I want that one to be our very first one that ever comes out.
That's cool. One of the things we kind of pride ourselves on here at the Bourbon Legends is not only about, the community and how things are made and whatnot, but the stories that go behind it. Mm-hmm. See, and that right there is precious. I mean, I don't know, it just gives me chills just thinking about it. I mean, that, everything happens for a reason. That obviously is one of those bullshit made up stories to try to sell whiskey. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. So I do have a question starting out for either of you guys. Just jump in. And I'm sure you've been asked this a million questions, but if anybody's out there watching that doesn't know, what got you into distilling? What got you into the whiskey world?
So, I'll try to shorten it up because it's a long-winded question. But so my family, we are DSP 59 in the state of Missouri. We're the 59th distillery in the United States from 1824 to 1920. We went bankrupt in 1920. My family sold out because of Prohibition. And we kind of left the history behind us. The family left Missouri, moved to Northern Oregon. I was born and raised on a 43,000 acre cattle ranch in northeastern Oregon, where the theoretics of distilling had persisted. And my grandfather talked to me a lot about donuts, and he passed on the knowledge. So it was kind of cool because I was raised by my grandfather and great grandfather. My great grandfather was born in the 1800s, died in the 2000s. He was the last legal distiller of the family in the 1920s. And I knew he lived until the 2000s and died at 106. And so he helped raise me. And then I had the opportunity in the early 2000s to come back and buy 600 acres of my family's original land in hopes to one day start it. And in 2014, my wife and I had a conversation about it, and she thought that she was being supportive. And she said, yeah, you should do that. And I took that as, I don't know, did we lose everybody?
No.
Okay. I was just bringing you in as a solo so everybody could see you up close.
I mean, I know you're in a cigar room, but it looks like you're on a stage somewhere in a black room or green room. So,
I know. So we were having a conversation, and my wife told me that we should do it, and I thought, and I was like, good. So I went after it, and to her surprise, about 6 months later, the still was up and running and all of the stuff, and we'd put in all of our paperwork, and she thought it was still a hobby, and she didn't realize that we'd gone legal. And
what did you say was up? Did you say you had your still working?
Well, after we were legal. Before that, we just made it.
But you said that word, still.
We got a drink.
I'm sorry I had to interrupt, but I mean, you know,
I'm glad he
a rule
doesn't
is a rule. We have to follow the rules here, Demetrius.
Yep.
So you guys, so you're basically saying that you were a donut maker who then went into legal donut making.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's kind of so that was kind of the beginning of it. And I've benefited. So I'm the 9th generation family distiller. And I was trained by the last legal distiller before 1920, as well as my grandfather, who was the 8th. And so for me, it's like we've got all the journals from the 1800s. We make whiskey the same way we did then. So we malt all of our grain. We malt our corn, malt our barley, malt our rye, malt our wheat. We don't use artificial enzymes. We ferment to about 7%, but we ferment for 48 days. So we do a long fermentation, and we lose about 2% alcohol during that long fermentation. So when we finally distill, we only get about 5% by volume. And then we do a vacuum distillation, so we don't burn the low conjoiners. So the oils, the really thick whiskey oils. So if you notice in our whiskey, it's really, really thick and viscous and has a really nice mouthfeel. That's by design, because prior to Prohibition, we were what was called an estate distillery. So we did not bottle any product. We sold to blenders and bottlers. So estate distilleries fell under the Farm Act prior to 1920. And so what that meant is that we were producing whiskey, but it was considered a farm good versus a commodity. So when the original Prohibition was enacted, for a very short period of time, they didn't realize that there were estate distilleries still making whiskey. And so we were abruptly shut down. And so, yeah, so that's kind of the short answer to how I got into it.
I have a technical question now.
Yeah.
So you ferment for 48 days.
Correct.
How do you slow down the yeast to make that last 48 days when most distilleries are doing this in 72 hours or less?
Yeah. So we use a very old yeast strain that came with my family from Scandinavia. We used it in Scandinavia, then Scotland, then here. And it's called Kvaik yeast. It's a Scandinavian Viking yeast, I guess is the best way to put it, but I inherited it. And so the yeast is very temperate. It's very temperature forgiving. So it's really good in hot temperature. It's really good in cold temperature. And so we technically ferment for about 15 days, climate controlled. So we run the climate down. In the past, so back in the day, as when my family did it, we only fermented during late October into November and then into December. And then we'd use the wood to heat the house in the barn. And that's what we'd use to heat ourselves through the winter. And so we'd cook all of our mashes through the winter. And so in order to kind of keep that same climate, we slow down the fermentation, do a colder temperature fermentation. And about after 15 days, it's primarily just lagering, like beer making. And because we have the malted grain, we have a higher nutrient count. So we have a lot more nutrients in our whiskey mash than I would say traditional distilleries, because more like beer. We also use heirloom varietal grain. So we grow, it's called a speckled sweet corn. So it's a corn that we've been using since the 1800s. My family's kept a hold of the strain. We grow it exclusively. We have a rye that we've been growing since the 1800s. We have wheat that we've been growing since the 1800s. We have barley from the 1800s. So all of those strains we've kept pure. And I would love to claim I would love to say that it's all my ideas and all that stuff, but it's not. Like, I inherited all this. So that's why I say that I'm not a master distiller, because I didn't figure it out. It's like, I look at myself as more of a steward of my family histories. I'm just trying to not let my family down.
That though, that's
Humbling.
I hate to say it, but that's noble. I mean, play on words here, but that is the shit, man. I mean, I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. That's really cool.
Say the word still.
Still.
Oh, sorry. That's a great story. If anybody follows modern day, I don't want to say lore, I guess it would be lore advertising. That would sound like something that somebody would make up, because it sounds like a great story. So like, you actually living the true story of it that's just very cool in my book. I'm a big traditional guy. I like things that carry on tradition, and like, you're not changing anything. Kind of like our buddy Mr. Jimmy Russell says, don't change a damn thing.
Yep.
Don't change a damn thing here. That's great.
And that's why we don't finish. So like, people always ask us why we don't do finished whiskey or experimental shit. And I'm like, we have 9 family mash bills, 1 for every distiller. The next generation will have their 10th. I have 6 kids that I'm teaching and training how to do this as well. And so like, our big thing is like, we follow a very specific process. Like, most of our whiskey, if you look at our label, it doesn't say bourbon, it's whiskey. That's because most of it is aged in 3 barrels. So we've only been around legally for 10 years. We're hitting our 11th year in January. But in theory, as donut makers do, you age whiskey for 7 years in new oak, then you age 7 years in used cask, and then you age up to 7 years in neutral barrels, which have been used multiple times, so that you don't over oak your whiskey. And that's a tradition my family's done since the 1800s. It's a tradition that we had in Scotland. It's a tradition we had, and it's that 7, 7, and 7. You rest the acreage after 7 years. It's, and there's things like that we do that, like, we really try to like keep to the way our family's always done things.
Nice. Guys, do you have a question? Anyone want to jump in here?
Yeah, sure. I'll jump in. So you talked about each barrel is named.
Yeah.
How do you decide, what barrels is it just a single barrel that's named, or do you have special releases? And if you do, how do you decide what barrels go into those releases or get those names?
So it's a single barrel, but what we do is, so we don't produce a ton of whiskey. We can produce about 28 barrels a day. So it's not a ton, but it's enough. And we can run more than that if we need to. We've got I have a bad habit of tinkering and building more stills just because I build them myself and I have a bad habit.
That was plural. Is that 2 gulps?
We're gonna
Whatever
keep
you
it at
want,
one.
whatever you want to do.
We need
I don't
to
have much of that sample left, so
yeah, we
Yeah.
need to keep our guest, where he's coherent tonight. So
So what we do is we have a batch, and so I mentioned I'm at the distillery still. Normally I get here at about 5:30 in the morning. We run until 4, and then typically I go home and I run the farms. But I don't have internet or TV at the farm. So when I leave here, my phone is here. I don't have any technology at the farm. And so what I do is I journal. So from like that day, things that happen on the farm, things that happen in life, I write them down in a journal. And I put the barrel numbers that I associate with that story for the day. And then after 7 years, I go through and I try all the barrels, and I will select, 4 or 5 of them that I think are really starting to show those characteristics that I'm kind of chasing. And the rest of the barrels we will use in our, 100 proof blend. So we don't proof anything below 100 proof. So our everyday drinking $45 bottle is a blend of ages, but it's 100 proof. And so then we have, out of those 28 barrels, we'll have 6 or 7 that'll go to theoretically 14 years. And after you get to 14, you go through and you try, through them, and you select one that'll continue on. And that barrel takes the name, and everything else is then used in blends or sold to other distilleries. We have a selection of distilleries that source from us, non-distilling producers that source from us from around the country and a few overseas. And we sell those off, and then like our single barrels, that has the name, and now it'll go until I believe it is proper whiskey. So yeah.
So a lot of hands-on approach there. So
Yeah.
One of the viewers, Kevin, asked about the cattle village, and I'm curious if that's going to be a barrel name at some point, or if it already is.
Cottle Village.
Yeah, Cottle Village. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I can't read.
Oh yeah. So Cottle Village is another one of our ventures. It's a so it's a kind of our I would say our bigger tourist facility in a small town called Cottle Village near St. Louis, St. Charles area. And so my partner Steven, it was kind of his vision to create a outdoor feels kind of like Kentucky, has an outdoor music venue, has an amazing restaurant. We have an amazing chef and team. And then we have a small distillery that we built there as well. So we created a brand called Farmstead Whiskey or Farmstead Bourbon. And that brand focuses more on my personal journey. So the brands that we sell there aren't my family historical recipes. They follow the same principles, but they're bourbons that are more of my creative side of like, I run out of barley every year. So how do I make whiskey if I don't have barley? Because none of our family recipes don't have barley. All of them have barley. So I don't stop making whiskey. So we started making what we call farm whiskey, which is whiskey that's shared specifically with family and friends. And so for years, people come out to my farm and we raise Wagyu Angus, and we raise, all different types of pork. And I'm a big believer in, it's like, you're not always born into the family that you want to be in, but you can select and pick your family that you can be a part of. And so I always try to like make sure that like I don't want anybody to ever feel like you're lacking in family. So it's like, I always try to bring people in and make sure that everybody knows it was like, if you come out to my farm, we're going to eat and have great whiskey together. And that's where it kind of started. And then Steven, he's one of my good friends, and he approached me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And I was like, if we can get people together and build people a community, I'm all for it. So we started that thing, opened in May of this year. and it's been crazy.
Yeah, that
That's-
sounds awesome.
Yeah. Get in. I know a lot of distilleries are doing that now. We were at Whiskey Thief. They had like the food trucks and the entertainment and all that, and that's cool. It's pretty neat to sit back, have a pour, listen to music, have some good food. RJ states he's up from you up in your area. He wants to know about the Nobletons Fest honey wheat. He says it's a killer. Can you guys expand on that at all?
So first off, RJ, what's going on, dude? So Ragged Bones, one of the barrels you mentioned, God, it's amazing. So we had Noble Fest. It was the first year we did it, and this past October, Nick knows the date we did it on. I think it was 18th. And I'd love to claim, and so anybody listening, I would love to say that it was all my brainchild and I was the genius behind it, but I really wasn't. It was Nick and Stephanie. They made the entire thing happen. From our kick-ass apparel that we now have and all this stuff, I gave the reins over and they knocked it out of the park. So for everybody that keeps telling me I did a great job, I'm like, it's not me. I'm like, I have an amazing team. The Noble Fest, the official Noble Fest honey wheat, it's 100% malted wheat. It's the only 100% wheat I believe we've ever sold. We don't sell a lot of wheats because I typically just drink them myself. But we had a team come out, so we had 3 barrels. I'm drinking one tonight, one of the other ones that was released that day. And there were 3 barrels that were aged in barrels. The final barrel they spent time in every one of them had 2 of the ryes had barrel heads from the 1800s. So we had rebuilt barrels using barrel heads from the 1800s, and the honey wheat had 12 staves from an 1800s barrel that we had refitted to that barrel. And so we picked that barrel. We had a group come out that we selected from everybody that had purchased bottles. And they got to come out and do a private barrel pick with me. And it was, that barrel is, I think we're down to that day we sold. I had to hide like 2 cases for myself. It was just crazy. I think we had about 1,000 people here. We raffled off an entire barrel of whiskey. So a guy, Ryan, he's going to be coming out and distilling his own private barrel with me. And we just gave it away to him. So we're going to do that every year.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a kick-ass day.
So Nick, we haven't heard a lot from you because you kind of were pointing out some of the bottles that you had in front of you, and he's fading away into the black. But there he comes back. So you want to point out some of the bottles that he was talking about, and so we can give him a little break. And I'm very interested in the wheat one because, again, we have a little project going on our side. We're going to do a big wheat whiskey tasting.
Yeah. So this is what he was talking about with the that particular barrel where we did like a pre-order kind of raffle for this Noble Fest. We say that we were gonna bring out 3 very, very special barrels that came from his private collection on his farm, opposed to the ones that come from the other rick houses that are our typical single barrels. So that already got a lot of people excited about it. But with everybody that pre-ordered a bottle, we had an additional raffle in addition to the one that was the winner gets a free barrel whiskey, like he mentioned, which is unheard of. But they had the opportunity, and we drew names, and then a handful, 10 or so people came out and got to choose the official Noble Fest bottle. And that was this one here, which was the wheated one, the honey wheat one, which is spectacular. I mean, and I think it may have had even the smallest yield of the 3 barrels. And it's amazing. Like he said, I think we have maybe a case left of it, and that's pretty much it. But then in addition was the other 2 that we had here, which was the high ground and the winter ground. And then he mentioned of his grain, we've got 30,000 acres, half of which are the rye that we do. So we do a lot of rye. And so we had, which this is kind of funny. So when we decided that we were going to do 3 single barrel releases, originally I said, hey, we got to do a single barrel release. And this in the early planning, we got to do a single barrel release for our first Noble Fest, but it's got to be a good one. It's got to be from your farm. And he's like, sounds good. And then next time I come in, he's like, hey, we're gonna do 3 and we're gonna give away a free barrel of whiskey. And I was like, oh, you want to have a parking issue? Okay, got it. Sounds good. So you know, we naturally throw parties on the worst weather days of the year. This is our 3rd major event, and the first one was -2 on our grand opening last year on our 1-year anniversary. It was really warm. It was 14 degrees, but we had 4 inches of ice outside, and still had 1,000 people there. And then the first day of rain we had in 3 weeks was Noble Fest, and we had like tornadoes and stuff. So it was pretty fun. So, but the cool thing about the other 2 barrels was Demetrius and his wife actually chose those 2 barrels. So she got to pick one and he got to pick one. And so which one's this one here? So I've got high ground. This one here is high ground, and then I got winter ground. The high ground, I believe, is the 100% rye, and then the winter ground is the 90-10 rye. And then his wife picked the winter ground. Almost, I mean, she kind of beat him to the punch, I think, because she didn't even, I don't even know if she tasted through them all. I was like, yep, that's the one. So they all went pretty well. I mean, I think we sold through almost everything in a very short period of time. But the main part was just having everybody out there. And that's, you know, he mentions the community. And so that's really my favorite thing about being with Nobletons is that, you know, it's just one of those places where people come out, and you were mentioning Whiskey Thief and that experience. You know, we don't have, you know, multi-million-dollar facilities and everything. Honestly, we look like a warehouse on the outside because it keeps the crackheads out. But one of my favorite things is just when you're in there and by the time you leave, you know, you plan on an hour and you're there for 4 hours and you're like, you know, you're just like, and you come back the next week, like Tony and RJ and everybody. So it's just kind of one of those places that are just unique and it feels like home. So,
Well, you know, I was talking to you last night, Nick, and I'm like, we really need to come up. When I say we, the bourbon legends here, that we do a lot of content for our YouTube page and whatnot. And I'm like, we need to come up and hit like Wood Hat, hit you guys, hit Jay Rieger. They've all you know, now you guys have all been on the show, and just do like a 3 or 4 days and just hit and go and go and go. So now, when is Noble Fest next year? Because it sounds like we need to plan the trip around Noble Fest.
So whenever the worst possible weather day will be, that'll be the day. But
the farmers loved you when it rained. The farmers loved you.
Oh yeah, well, it'll probably be in October because we have our anniversaries in January, so that'll be January, and then October. So it's kind of kicking off the, you know, toward the, I guess, the end of harvest kind of season, so to speak, and into the holiday season before it gets kind of crazy. And then before we know it, you know, 6 more months go by, but we're slowly building that event side of things. You know, Demetrius and I spent a lot of time just randomly going over the million different events that we want to do. And then a year goes by. So you guys probably understand that.
Yeah. It's now, if it is in October, that's a possibility that I can make it. Because once November hits and I'm busy doing my Christmassy events. I don't know if you know that or not, Demetrius. I may.
I showed him.
I was going to say I may have to help the big guy out ever so often. Hey, you know, giving away gifts. I like giving away gifts. I think Nick, you have a gift that we could give away. Is that right? I think you mentioned it just a second ago.
Well, we were going to do a barrel tour, but you mentioned let's keep that for you guys to come down sometime, and so I'm throwing you under the bus for that one. So sorry, everybody, but you can obviously come out and we'll give you a tour and drink out of some barrels any day. So just let me know. But yeah, I was actually going to I couldn't decide between a few bottles. So I thought the winner could literally decide for themselves which one they wanted, and it would be of one of our 3 recent Noble Fest bottles. So
cool. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set this up right now. All you have to do, I'm going to run this little ticker across the bottom. Hashtag Nobletons to win that bottle, okay? And you get to pick. So what we're going to do here is we're going to talk for a few more minutes, let you guys get your hashtags in, and then we're going to draw a name, and then you guys can do your pick, if you will.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
Awesome.
what we'll do is we'll get you the winners' information and put them in touch with you.
Yeah.
And then they can choose from you what they want, what they'd like to have. That sounds great.
Yeah.
All those sound great.
Absolutely.
So I want to go back and ask a more of a technical question, because I'm a kind of a technical question kind of guy. So all of your grains are malted, you said,
Yeah.
and you malt them all yourself.
Yeah.
Wow. And
I don't recommend it. It's
I was going to say, if people out there do not understand what malted grains are, so you're basically forcing the grain to think that it's sprouting, and it Demetrius, you can probably tell them better than I can, but basically that's why you don't have to use any synthetic enzymes, because it produces its own alpha amylase to break down the starches into the sugars and all that. But I've never heard of anybody doing a solid, corn, barley, rye, all being malted. That's got to be a hell of a process to malt that much grain.
It's not fun. So if anybody out there wants to start a business doing it, I will 100% hand over those operations. I hate it. No.
And real
it's
quick,
not fun.
Demetrius, you mentioned people always ask why our whiskey says real dirty whiskey.
Because we're farmers.
Because it's dirty ass work to get a good product. So that says it right.
So the reason why, we do it because that's what the tradition was always been. So I didn't research how we currently make whiskey. I just learned how to make donuts when I was a kid. Started when I was 6. And so it's always the way we've done it. And so when we went legal in 2014 and we weren't open to the public yet, I just was following everything that I've ever learned. The problem with malting corn, especially corn, rye and barley is relatively simple. The grains has good structure to it and everything. Corn, the issue is modern corn will mold. So when you wet it, it will begin to mold very easily. So the temperatures have to be perfect. We do what's called field malting. So we spread tarps out in the field, silage tarps. We put the grain on top of it, hit it with water, soak it, fold the tarp over top of it, and we just have field rows of folded tarps that stretch, hundreds of acres. People think that it's like hay clippings and stuff, but it's not. It's grain malting. We let it run for about 2.5 days, and then we wind up the tarps into big bundles, and then we take the bundles, spread them out across metal grates, and then we rake them back and forth to dislodge the germ, and then we light the fields on fire. So we just have hay underneath it, and we just light the field on fire. It's the cheapest way we figured out how to do it. It's the way my family's always done it. Eventually, we will try to buy a malt house and build a malt house. But the problem is most malt houses that you can buy that are commercially built on skid systems are designed for barley or rye. They aren't designed for the other grains. And so we don't really have a solution for it. The wheat is similar. Wheat isn't horrible. Wheat is so high in sugars and stuff that it ferments pretty easily. Corn is really the problem. But we use a semi-sweet speckled heirloom varietal. We've tried it with other varieties of corn. Other varieties of corn will not work. So we've tried yellow dent. It will not work. We've tried other varietals because when people come and work with us to contract, I kind of have a staunch, we do it our way. I'm not trying to learn some other way of doing it. I'm very focused on the tradition. And so it's if you buy whiskey from us, it's our style. for good or bad. But yeah, so malting's a pain in the ass.
Oh, I can imagine, especially when you're doing that much.
Yeah.
That volume is it's hard to believe.
Now,
Yeah.
guys, I just got to say one thing real quick. Only 8 people have entered this drawing. Now I know something is not right here. 8 people. They've got to be misspelling something. Nobeltons. Don't put an apostrophe.
Noblet.
Maybe that's why it's screwed up.
Yeah, it's Nobletons.
You know, Nick, I told you spelling was not my stronghold last night.
I know.
Let me change this. Let me change this ticker here.
And Demetrius, you're learning that Santa can't spell, just so you know.
Dyslexic.
Nobletons. Noble. All right. So here's what's going to happen, folks. I'm going
Those
to
8 people are so pissed right now.
Yeah. There was 10 people now. Okay. I'm going to get rid of that one. We're going to have to start over. I'm sorry. It's my fault. You can blame me all you want. So if you can give me just a second, I'm going to go in here. I got to do this technical stuff. Hashtag Nobeltons.
Nope.
Nobletons. Nobletons, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've got 12 people when I did this. Okay, so we're good. All right. Okay. I'm sorry I interrupting you guys, but anyway, where were
No,
we?
that's fine.
I got a question. If you're
We're talking about stills.
Hold on, I didn't
Stills?
save this.
Somebody said still.
I think that may be why I can't. I think that may be why I can't spell. Is we were doing these shots.
Yeah. Now, earlier, Demetrius, you were talking about your history and having ledgers that go back with the recipes, and you talked about all the way back to Scotland. So, would it be reasonable to say that some of this practice that you use is kind of based on the Scotch producing from Scotland?
Yeah, and we're Scottish. A lot of what we do is like the way we use barrels, the way that we approach grain, the way that we farm grain. We do a lot of things the way it was done in Scotland, and we were distilling. So when my family came to the United States, we've been involved in distilling going all the way back to. So my family, I'm the descendant of the Tyrrell family that came over from England, and that's where the distilling started. So they trace their lineage all the way back to Virginia and Pennsylvania when the original distillers were kind of starting up, and the brewers. And then we came all the way to Kentucky, and we claim 1824 because that's when we went independent. Up until that, we just worked for other people. But a lot of those practices, the way we do stuff, is still very in line with the way it was done all the way back for the family.
Yeah, that's interesting. When you were talking about malting the grains, I've watched some videos where Scotch producers were malting their grains, and just watching that process, they had a big room and they were going in and physically it looked kind of like a shovel, pushing the grain around and turning it over.
Yeah.
Of course, they were smoking it too with the peat, but
yeah,
just a really interesting process. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah, and we don't smoke the grain like on purpose. Sometimes people will note like very, very slight, aromatics there, but it's not like an on-purpose smoking. It's just because we use the field. But we have no intention of copying Scotch producers in any capacity. My family, we had a stench of getting kicked out of the country, so my family's very staunchly, we make American whiskey. and we're very, very proud of American whiskey. And so we believe in continuing to produce and proliferate American whiskey. And so we have that heritage, but we're very proud of our heritage here.
Yeah, and it shows in the product too. You know, this sample that Roger sent me, the Day's End. I mean, this has just been an excellent pour so far. A lot of different flavor in there. The proof point's really great. You get a really nice warmth in your chest from that proof. So yeah, I'm very impressed with that product so far.
Thank you.
I
The
apologize,
question I
guys. I
have-
didn't get you a bottle soon enough to get more than that little sample from Roger. So,
Well, I'm
Well,
glad Roger had some. I mean, obviously you guys don't distribute in Arkansas, or we would have, had some bottles. But see, now I didn't think that 116. I didn't get any hug off of that. I thought that was, and I hate to use the word smooth, but man, that is a smooth drinker there. That's a good bottle. Now I'm actually going into Grandma's bottle now. I'm going to try. So.
Do you see those legs?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
clinging to the Glen. I mean, it's just hanging in there.
Yeah.
It's
So
really
that's the
coated on the
common-
inside.
So that's those.
the most common thing people say is they hate to say be redundant on the smooth, and it doesn't drink the proof. But I mean, Demetrius will touch base on it, but that goes back to his fermentation process, the heirloom varietal, their strategies of distilling everything, and it's consistent through every single whiskey you do, whether you're drinking 100% rye, or you're drinking 100% wheat, or you're drinking 3 grain, 4 grain, whatever it is. It's that same viscosity, it's that same mouthfeel, it's that same finish. The sweetness all the way to the back, even if you're drinking 120, 30, 40, it doesn't matter to the proof. It's the consistency, which is what they always strive for. So,
My question kind of goes on to the next stage.
When we had Gary Heingarten.
Oh, Greg's having some problems. Go ahead, Roger.
I said, my next piece is talking about the what type of barrels do you guys prefer to use? What's your barrel producer?
So we use 3 different barrel producers for various reasons. So we use Kelvin Cooperage out of Kentucky.
Okay.
Kelvin, it makes some of the best barrels in the world. My family has ties back to some of the original producers in Kentucky back in the time, and the Kelvins carried on some of that lineage. So we have a very long history with them. The second one we use is Adirondack Cooperage in upstate New York. If you're unfamiliar with Adirondack builds some of the most beautiful, stunning handmade casks. And they're one of the few producers that are willing to let us cut our own staves, air dry them for 7 years, and send them to them. So we do 7 years air dried staves. So every barrel we produce that we age whiskey in has been air dried for 7 years on our farm, and then we send it. So Kelvin allows us to do the same with them. And then we use a cooperage that a lot of people are familiar with. It's called Space Eye. And Space Eye they produce really good barrels. They're more mass produced, so it helps us keep our costs lower. And so we try to create a blend of those 3, primarily using Adirondack and Kelvin. But when we run out, we use Space Eye as well. And so those are our main coopers.
What's the char level?
So you're saying,
oh, sorry.
Char 4.
I was just going to say, so you're cutting your own white oak for your own barrels.
Yes, we farm 15,000 acres in the Midwest. So we manage all of our own land. We don't own it. I wish we did. We don't. We own about 2,600 acres. That's it. But we monitor all the forest ground on every farm that we work on. And when we go in and we see blight, or we see any issues with the foliage, we go in, we cut down the trees, the white oaks especially, everything. We manage everything, but we cut the white oaks, bring them in for staves if they have the proper composition. We look for old growth, so every single one of our barrels is a minimum of 75 to 100 years, and then we replant. So we have a sustainability thing. A lot of people ask us why we aren't in all these other states or all these other things. We can only grow so many. We can only make so many barrels. We can only grow so many grains. We can only malt so much. And so my purpose, we are a zero debt company. So we have no debt. We have no investors. I have no partners in the distillery. So we make whiskey the way my family's done it for 200 years. The very best whiskey possible, as much as we can, and never more. So it's as many barrels. So we never plan to be. My thing is phenomenal whiskey all the time. So char 4, heavy toast. We toast and char every barrel, but we toast first, char second, because the toast goes deeper. And so we do an 8-hour high toast, not high heat, but mid-range in the 400s heat, and then a char 4. And that's what we do on everything. We don't differentiate between any mash bill.
So on a related question to that, you select and cut your own trees. Do you prefer the lower portion of the trunk or the upper portion, or does it matter to you as far as where your staves come from?
So I prefer what's called heartwood. Heartwood comes from the inner rings. It produces sweeter, softer, richer whiskey over the duration. Outside of that, below the branches. So if we have good branch, good branch structure above, I'm going to cut as many staves as I can up to the lowest branch. Once you have a branch interference, you're going to be fighting with it the entire time. You can pull staves from around the ring, but you have to be really careful with that.
Yeah, that's something I never really thought about, was the heartwood versus the sapwood, and that making a difference. I know a lot of people talk about where they pull the staves out of the trunk, makes a difference, but that's really interesting.
So the heartwood is the problem. You lose a lot more. So what most distillers will do is, most coopers will pull from outer layers because you're going to have less evaporation. But I don't. The way I look at it is I don't really care. At the end of the day, for me, is the whiskey of. So we kind of have a saying in the distillery. Is I make whiskey for the people that we've lost if I had the opportunity to drink with them one more time. And so most of my, I have a very colorful background. When you guys come up, we can kind of talk about it a little more, but I spent a great deal of time working overseas, and a bunch of us went over together. A few of us came home, and only 2 of us are alive today. And if I had the opportunity to sit down and drink whiskey with any one of my boys again, I would in a heartbeat. And so I have to make whiskey that's worthy of, if I had that opportunity. And I look at that for everybody that drinks with me. I have to make whiskey that's worthy of your last time with your friends. That's the way I see it. And so
that's an awesome way to look at it. I really appreciate that.
Seems like we're going up there in January. What do you think, Craig?
Let's go.
We were talking about doing a tour. So I mean, who would have thunk Missouri, right? You always think bourbon, whiskey, bourbon, right? You always think Kentucky, but hell, this is going to be closer for us.
Yeah.
We'll just go north. Hey,
Well,
can we give a bottle of that whiskey away right now?
Sounds good.
Can we do that? I'm gonna bring this to the stage, and we're gonna spin the wheel right now. Let me make sure I get it the right one. All right, here we go. Round and round she goes. Who is going to be the lucky winner of a bottle of Nobletons? Baka Kong. Now, I've got to tell you guys something. Baka Kong, I go to Mardi Gras every year. I'm not going this year, but this was my float sergeant last year, and he is a wine drinker, okay? So we're going to have to get him a bottle that a wine drinker may enjoy, okay? So, Baka Kong.
I'm pretty sure you can swing him his contact information.
Yeah, get with me, and we'll get you a bottle of Nobletons, okay, Jay?
God, that's a sweet name.
Hey, you should see the float that we were on. It's
man.
it's the Baka Kong, you know, like King Kong, and then there's a Mama Kong, and man, we have a blast. My son rode last year for the first time.
Did he ride in the front or the back?
We actually rode in the back last year, and I swear we could have laid cots and slept on our float. We had so much room. My son had a blast. He's like, Dad, I want to do this every year. And I'm like, son, I can't afford it every year. but our Mardi Gras group is called Bacchus, you know, King of Wine or God of Wine down in New Orleans. We roll every Sunday before Fat Tuesday. And so Jay is the winner. So Jay, get with me and we'll get that bottle picked out for you. Okay, buddy? All right.
Awesome.
Back
Congrats.
to the regularly scheduled program.
So the king, the part of this is kind of funny. Is Craig? We had Craig coming on tonight. And we wanted to say, is there anything you want to touch on as far as being on the sales side and trying to, you know, promote some of the products? Where can they find the products if they're not in? You know, is it available online or what stores? Those type things.
So we are in almost all the major liquor chains across the state of Missouri. There's also a website you can go to called gotoliquor.com, and they do a lot of distributing across the country. It works out of a liquor store here in Missouri, but they have contracts in almost all the states, and all of our products on there. And our vodka, our gin, our whiskeys, and so I believe most locations, you know, it might be a pickup at a local liquor store, or it might be a direct ship to your house, but not sure exactly, just based on location. But there is a way there. Otherwise, just Missouri right now. So.
And I know in St. Louis, it's everywhere. If you know. The wine and cheese place, ABV Barrel Shop, of course, always.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of funny when he mentioned before the show started that they're up to 12 single barrels a year because they sell out so quickly. As soon as they get them in, they go. And it was the same thing when I was at the wine and cheese place. Toward the end, when I was there, you know, we put a new single barrel out, put it on the shelf, and within a week, maybe 2 weeks, everything would be gone.
Yeah. We just dropped one with wine and cheese day before Halloween, and it was gone within 4 hours.
Wow.
It's gotten crazier.
So
I'll throw this out there. I don't think Tony's on there, but Tony Vital is one of your groupies, as I would call him. I joke around about it, but he loves it, and he's enjoyed being in the process and going out and going to the distillery, helping out. It makes some of the those people day.
He's one of our directors of quality control, I like to call him. So
yeah, he handles it pretty good. I know. He took a picture and sent it to me the other day with all the bottles, and it's kind of funny to watch because I remember when we first started. I first met him. It was a few things here and there, and then he kicked on and got into the Nobletons, and it was on. He was just every bottle he could find. Anybody had a single barrel, he was going and getting it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Tony was probably the first customer I met when I started. Was probably Tony.
Yeah.
So how do we get into the family? How do we get into the family now?
Come up. Have a tour.
I make a lot of weird jokes. He doesn't have any. Yeah, I used to make a lot of weird jokes, like he doesn't have any sisters or cousins or shit, even brothers or something. You know, I was trying to get into the Kane family somehow, but my wife, you know, she understands. So.
Well, I mean, you guys have, like I was telling Nick earlier before we jumped on here, I deliberately did not do much research because I wanted this to be genuine when I asked a question on this end. And now I feel slighted that I haven't known about you guys and I didn't read up on this until just now learning about it. I'm like, where have you guys been my whole life? I've missed out on all of this.
Yeah, we got some catching up to do,
Yeah.
Craig.
Well,
I'm telling you.
yeah. I'll
Well,
tell you
don't-
what,
don't-
though, and
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that too. I've thought that, and people say that on a daily basis. Even even our locals, for the first time on a daily basis, will say that. But I said there's no time like the present, because if you lived here, 100 years ago, you had no idea. If you lived here 80 years ago, you had no idea. But we live here today, and we know now, and now we're spoiled. So
Yeah. Well, I know you got a lot of people that are regulars on our show, RJ States, quite a few people that talked about it. There's a couple people that aren't on here right now that are out in California that do single barrels through their groups, their private groups, and, do those. And so it was kind of fun last night. We were on Discord and talking about it, and they were all like, is Demetrius going to be on there? Who's going to be on? And they were all excited, and it was kind of fun. So,
oh yeah.
I'm just glad you guys were doing it. I think we could talk all night. I know that with Craig, especially because he's might know a little bit about donut making. He could talk to you all night. So,
But Roger, still.
oh yeah, yes,
still.
still, yeah.
Still,
No, I'm with Roger. I'm so glad that you guys came on here tonight and took time out of your day. I mean, you guys are still at work. I'm off work. The rest of us are off work. Hell, Roger don't even work. He's retired.
one
But-
thing though, before Brass Eagle Blinds wants to ask Nick about the bottle directly to his right. So I'm curious about this now too.
Well,
Grandpa's truck.
okay, Doug. Earlier he was talking about Grandma's kitchen, right? And a very near dear bottle with his grandmother. Well, this is the grandpa here. So one of the barrels, of course. Not there's a lot of them with grandpa, but this is one of them. And Demetrius talk about it if he wants, but
That's a very special bottle. There's a lot of people in St. Louis that has it. If you had an opportunity to go to the ABV Barrel Shop in Arnold, Steve Akeley, it was started by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Jim passed away not this last spring, but the spring before. And that was one of his favorite barrels. And that was the barrel that my grandfather left me after he died. So he had a Navajo Indian blanket on the backseat of his 1972 F-250 that is teal green that matches that bottle. And after he passed, I found the blanket folded up on top of that barrel with a note from him that said, "This is a fine cask. This is a fine barrel of whiskey. Enjoy." And so I kept it for myself. I had enjoyed it for many years. And Jim and I, over the years, became really good friends before anybody knew who we were. And Jim and Steve had been great friends of ours. And Jim had tried to convince me to let him have that barrel, and I said it wasn't for sale. And so when he passed unexpectedly, we did a tribute on the side of that bottle to him and to my grandpa and to many men that have shaped every one of us. And we gave a whole bunch of it to his family at his memorial that we had out here at the distillery. And it's just one of the best damn barrels, one of the best damn bottles ever that we have ever put out. But yeah, that's a killer bottle, and one that I miss the barrel a lot, but damn good whiskey.
Yeah, I've been trying to get Steve to come on the show, and his schedule he's crazy busy and running around, but
Yes, he is.
because it was one of the most interesting ideas and concepts for a store.
Yep.
And whenever I was in St. Louis, and you always wonder when people come up with these ideas, you hope they will be successful, and everybody has got a following there. It's a cult following again. You know, people go to that shop because they've got, you know, they've had hazmat before hazmat became, you know, a popular term here in our group, and they've always done the bourbon and the whiskey the right way, just straight from the barrel, no messing with it, no cutting, like you said. I know that they do have some finish stuff, but you don't do any finishing at all.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, because it's a straight, whiskey as it was intended to be.
Yep.
Well, I got to say, I'm just blown away by these heartfelt stories about each one of these barrels. I mean, it's just, I want to just come hang out with you and just listen to you tell stories, because I can really
Hell
tell
yeah.
the emotion that goes into this product that you're making. The history behind it, the effort that you put into it, and just in what I've sampled tonight, I mean, all that hard work shows, and you should definitely be congratulated for what you're doing there. And I can't wait to come up there and just sit and visit with y'all for a while.
Yeah, please do. It's a lot of fun. We and like I've said multiple times on this, I would love to be able to claim it's just me, but we have an amazing team, and I'm blown away every single day by my team. Nick started out as a customer. Nick used to come in and harass me when I would try to bartend, because I'm a horrible bartender. And literally, when we first opened, because a lot of people haven't heard about us because we've only really been open to the public for 2 years, just under. And before that, it was like you had to know me, and I had a card table set up in an old auto shop, and you'd come in the back door, and we'd kind of keep the lights low while we were working. And we built our entire tasting room. So when you walk in, it's floor to ceiling wood paneling, black wood paneling, big leather chairs, and art on the walls, and a 24-foot black walnut live edge slab bar, and all these really beautiful things. But that was paid for by when we did 2 bottles our first year when we opened. The only 2 bottles that have ever cracked $100, and all of our other bottles are only 85. Like our single barrels are only 85. But we had people buy those 2 barrels that paid for us to furnish and build our entire tasting room, so we took no debt. And so it's like our tasting room is a testament to like our whiskey family. So when you walk in, I'm like, the only reason we built it was because I felt like everyone that supported us deserves this. Like you deserve to have a place to come drink with me and enjoy what you've built. And so I feel like our entire place is kind of a testament to that, of just like the most amazing people in the world that support us, and it's humbling as hell.
RJ, and I know you guys probably are ready to get off of here, but RJ wants to know about tell us about the badass lock on the door.
So when you walk in, there's the most absurd, slightly idiotic, and I use other words when you're actually on a tour with me. I just know this is going on YouTube. But there's a door that's exactly 10 foot tall and 8 foot wide that I built. It was because it's so huge because I thought it looked right when I was laying on the ground when I was building it.
The creakiest door ever.
Oh, it's creaky as shit. Because it's just massive. They don't make hinges for it. And so all hand built. But on the middle of the door, for normal people, it's eye height. For me, it's chest height. And I thought it was normal height because, once again, I was laying on the ground when I put it on. But the lock, so if you do history into Scottish distilleries, there is a lock on their doors called a patent lock or a crown lock, which is a lock that's issued by the king, by the crown, and crown agents who would issue taxes would have a key to this lock. And every family, like in the United States, we have a DSP, which is a distilled spirits permit number. They have a crown lock number. So it's a special tax district in Scotland. And I had the opportunity of meeting the family that has made these locks since like the 1500s. It's the same family because it's fucking Scotland and shit. And sorry, that probably shouldn't have said either. But so Sorry, I'm probably.
Craig says worse than that all the time. So don't.
Oh
worry.
yeah, you can cuss all you want on here. We're not monetized, so they're not going to stop us.
There we go. So this lock. So I met this family, and they were telling me this, and I told them, I was like, "Oh, it's really cool. My family distilled in Scotland. You know, we have all this history and stuff, and in the most British way possible." He was like, "Well, if that's true," and I was like, "What does that mean?" And so he ends up doing all of his research and finds that my family had one of these locks, and so he built me a replica of the original lock from the 1500s, whenever we had it there, and sent it to me as a gift. And so we have it on this door when you walk into the distillery. We have the giant brass keys. It's the most absurd thing. Now, it inherited all the problems from the 1500s. If you turn the doorknob the wrong direction, the doorknob falls off. So it's absolutely stupid too, but it's just like, every time I put my hand on that doorknob, I'm like, we have like 15 generations of distillers that have like been with us. And I just like, so, but then normal sized people walk in and they're like, the doorknob's like higher than my head. And I'm like, well, I'm not the smartest guy either. So,
and apparently, guys, they have the best Scottish pizza as well.
I mean,
Every
question you have has about a 3-hour story attached to it. So,
I'll bet. I imagine these are all the setups.
I will tell you what, you guys are obviously going to make me spend some damn travel money at the beginning of next year. Because we're, like I said, we were batting around the idea of coming up and shooting some content and kind of doing a tour, but I think we may have to add another day or so on this trip, guys.
Yeah.
You guys
Maybe we can sleep in the parking lot too.
Hell, we might all end up sleeping on the couch. I've done that too. I also bring in some Wagyu steak from the farm or something. I'll make it worth your while.
There you go. I mean,
that'll work.
You don't have to twist our arm.
Yeah,
you don't have to get out of it. You don't have to twist our arm. All right, guys. I know y'all are probably ready to go. Give us your spiel. Ask us a question. Do whatever you want. Just lay it on us. We're here for you. Somebody's got a sales pitch or something, right?
No, not a sales pitch at all. Really, it's just it's a privilege to be on this page. You guys have a very well-greased wheel that you guys have with this group, and you guys have a lot of followers, and you guys do an excellent job portraying history and distillers and especially craft distillers. I like how you talk about everything. So it's like you guys have great news updates on things going on and talk about it, but then you guys highlight the little guy, which is us, and other ones, and that's a huge deal for us, and we don't take, we appreciate that.
Roger and I, we're privy to a lot of information that's going around, and it's no big secret that alcohol in general is way down. Sales, we get these reports every day. Grape growers out in, California are letting their crops just rot on the vine, and this and everything else. And honestly, I think we owe it to the community to support the craft distiller. And I mean, and this is a testament to why, you guys put so much effort into bringing out the best product you can. That right there is what the whiskey community should be about, is supporting the craft distillers. We all want to chase that, Pappy Van Winkle bottle or whatever as well. But, this is where it's at as far as I'm concerned. And as time has evolved, we've only been doing this since, I believe it was June, doing these shows. We've kind of, started narrowing our view into, craft places. So that's kind of our niche, if you will.
you're talking about your single barrel price point. I mean, that's right there with a lot of the big distilleries. And I would much rather have, based on the samples I've had tonight, I would much rather have your product than, Larceny Barrel Proof, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I mean, this is so much better. And I mean, just look at everybody. Just look at how, I don't know if you can see it well or not, but that's just hanging on the sides of the Glen. I mean, there's just drops all over it.
Well, this is a craft.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
it
you know,
shows that it shows that they take their craft seriously.
Absolutely.
They put maximum effort into doing what they do, and they're doing it the hard way. They're not doing it the easy way. Talking about malting all these grains. Like I said, I've watched some videos on that, and that's not easy work. And they're taking the time to do that. And I think everybody that's watching really needs to go out and support you guys, because it's a great product. It's a great history behind that product. And, just listening to y'all talk about it, I know you're 100% invested in what you're doing. And it shows.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah, well, we're open to the public Wednesday through Saturday, but honestly, people reach out to me and Demetrius. Hey, I'm coming through on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday morning, or out of hours, and one of us will meet them up there and treat it like we're open, and so because people have limited times these days, so whatever we could do. And when you guys come on out, you can have a tour, do a barrel tour, and you can we pull right out of barrels. I mean, there's no magic to it. There's no like hidden room. You're right out there in the middle of the floor drinking out of barrels. You can get bottles right out of the barrels right in front of you. We label it and write everything on it right in front of you. And so we do a lot. You can get pretty much anything from us. So
Nice.
Well, I know that our mods have put out the web address for you and everything like that, but you want to just again remind everybody where you guys are located at?
Yeah, so we're all across Missouri and all your major liquor stores. If you do find one that doesn't have it, please let me know or let the manager know. We'll make sure we can get it to you. Otherwise, we don't do any on our direct website at Nobletons, but if you go to gotoliquor.com, they have all of our stuff on there, and they ship majorly across the country as well. So one way or another, you can get most likely a bottle of something. So.
And where's your facility located again? That was what I was trying to.
We're out and we're about 45 to 50 minutes west of St. Louis, in Union, Missouri, on a kind of an intermajor road called Highway 47. It's about 15 minutes from Highway 44, which goes across the country there. So, pretty easy to get to. And there's, if you're undecided or you need some other things to do, there's distilleries all within minutes away from each other, so you can have your own local distillery tour. Everyone's unique in their own stories, and it's this people think of us as a wine state, first AVA in the United States, but pre-prohibition, as Dimitri would tell you, Missouri was up there as much as Kentucky, if not more. So there's a lot coming back, and there's a lot here, all in all the corners of the state. So
Nice.
That's perfect,
guys. I think you're going to see some of us up there for sure.
Absolutely.
It's too tempting. I mean, we want to deep dive into this even more, and who knows, maybe I'll bring some donuts for you guys to try too.
all right,
You never know.
don't
You
tempt
never know.
us.
Hey,
something from your still. Oh, sorry, donut maker. Still.
Oh,
Hold on.
Somebody stay still.
I'm out now. I'm going to have to crack into something else here. That was a good drinking game. All right, guys. Demetrius Kane, Nick Eckelkamp with a K, not a C. Thank you guys so much for coming on. We've had a hell of a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Just when you think it can't get any better, it gets better. So
Yeah.
thank you guys. We're going to give away something again right now. We're going to do samples. So if anybody wants to win some of these samples, it's going to be the Planters whiskey, the Winter Days. Is that what it was, right, Roger? No, I'm sorry, Days End.
Days End.
And we're going to give away some of the Grandma's Kitchen. All you have to do is go and hit hashtag, hold on, samples. Hashtag samples, SAMPLES. And we're going to give those away. Guys, are y'all going to bail on us, or do you want to stick around for just a few minutes? It's up to you guys.
We can stick around.
I'll stick around.
I know Demetrius got to get to the farm. I mean, it's
he's got to get out of his closet.
What we're going to do is we're going to give away these samples, and then for our Patreon members, well, while we were in Kentucky at Green River, we actually got to bottle a. This is I believe it's a bourbon, is it not, Roger?
It's a bourbon, yeah.
It's a bourbon, and just for our Patreon members, it says on the back, the Bourbon Legends. I don't know if you guys can read that or not.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
So we're and I don't know if you've heard the story about this, but up in help me out, Roger. Where are they at? The original Green River is in
Northern Kentucky, right along the river.
Owensboro. Yeah. When they were doing some renovations there, they actually found one or two of these old ceramic decanters. And so they remodeled, that. And it was almost, we saw pictures. They're identical other than being new. So we're going to give away that to a Patreon member. Wow. Let's see. We've got 24 people. They're still adding samples, guys. We're going to give you about 30 more seconds to get in here for these samples from Nobletons Distilling House. So hurry. There's 18 people that's done this. When we get to 20, I'm going to roll the dice, boy. I'm going to make it work.
And can I enter for those samples too?
Yeah, go ahead, Will. Enter for the samples.
You've
already had the samples tonight, but you can win some more because I know you've already drank all yours.
I'm working on the last of it right now.
I got you, brother. I got you.
I'll throw my name in there. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna look here. I'm getting ready to go. If you have not got hashtag samples, speak now or forever hold your peace, because as soon as I get this thing pulled up, we are gonna spin the wheel. All right, we've got 20 entries. Here we go. We're going to spin it.
Don't worry.
We can't see it. We can't see it. We can't see it.
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I should have shared the page.
Yeah, that always helps.
Keith P.
Our fireman from New Orleans.
Our guest from last week, Keith P. gets in on this. He's going to get some Nobleton samples.
Awesome.
Congratulations, Keith P. Now, the moment that the Patreon members have been waiting for. We are going to, and I'm going to make sure I don't screw this one up since I've done it several times tonight. I've screwed things up. But that's okay because I've been drinking because somebody keeps saying the word
still.
Okay, I've got to stop this screen. I've got to let me revamp over here. It's a hard job trying to run these things. Okay, here we go. I'm going to bring it in. We're going to share this page. Can anybody see the page? There it is.
Hey, there it is.
Go.
All right. This is for the Green River Patreon members only. Thank you guys for supporting us. This is our way that we like to give back to you for helping out. Remember, all the money that we make on the Discord, we're going to put back towards barrel picks. So we want to be able to get barrel picks and not have to have me or somebody else fork out the money. We want to be debt free on this. So I'm going to give 3 shuffles. 1, 2, 3. Now, just to make it clear, if you were a top member of the Patreon, you got 3 chances. If you were a tier 2 member, you had 2 chances. If you were a tier 1 member, you had 1 chance. Here we go, folks. Who is going to be the big winner of the Green River?
I hope it's a green number. No, red.
Ernest Peacock.
Ernest Peacock, awesome.
Ernest
Oh.
Peacock is going to be the winner tonight. Thank you for supporting the Bourbon Legends.
I was almost the winner.
You
Yeah.
know,
I was the next one. But I have one. So if I
There
would've
you
won,
go.
I would have said spin it again. So
I'm glad you got one there.
I got
I'm
one over
glad
there
I got one
somewhere,
too.
and over there somewhere.
All right, folks. Thanks everybody for joining in. I think this is our longest show we've ever done, and it feels like we just scratched the surface.
It does.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Guys, be legendary.
Thank
Go
you.
out and support Nobletons. Get your bottles. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a pick with them at some point next year, hopefully. We'll see about that. All
We'll
right,
get on the
folks.
list.
Yeah, put us on the list. Remember, we want that brother-in-law deal now. All right,
That's
folks.
Santa,
Thanks for
sweet
tuning in.
Santa
Come
deal.
back next week, next Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel. I have 2 more weeks. I have next week and the week after, and then it'll be up to those 2 guys, Chill Will, Rocco, and Roger. They're going to be running the boards while I'm out, hopefully making little children happy. So anyway.
If you think it's bad now, just wait. Just wait. Because it's
Just
going to
wait.
get worse. It's going to get worse, I promise you.
On that note, folks, see you next week.
Guys, stay on a little bit. We'll be with you. We'll be back on in a second.
For the stories we've told of barrels and bottles and whiskey gold, from grain to glass, through fire